All right, so I will call the meeting to order for Economic Development Committee on today, May 18th. A physical quorum of the members is actually present, so I may have the wrong information here, but I know that pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, members are permitted to attend remotely. One member of the committee, chief administrative officer, or legal counsel are physically present here. In-person attendance and public comments are allowed, subject to attendance regulations required to ensure the health and safety of all those who attend. So let's do a roll call, please.
Okay. Member Chavez?
Here.
Member Salmon? Member Renahan? Here. Member Eckhoff?
Here.
Member DeCiani?
Here.
And Member Rutledge?
Here.
All right, and I would like to move to approve the minutes.
Excuse me,
Sure.
Mr. State's Attorney, does she have to take a motion to allow members to attend electronically?
Because the other two need to get let in, yes.
Okay,
since
so
you have a
you
quorum
need
here.
to ask for a motion to allow members
Oh,
to attend electronically.
Okay, apologize. Okay, can I request a motion to allow our remote members to attend today's
So
meeting?
moved.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Member Chavez?
Aye.
Member Salmon? Member Renahan?
Yes.
Member Eckhoff?
Aye.
Member DeCiani?
Aye.
And Member Rutledge? Aye.
Pete can't really vote to let himself in, but
All right, now let's move on to approval of minutes from April 20th, 2021.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, roll call, please.
We can
Voice
vote.
vote.
Oh, okay.
You got that quorum in the room.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, wonderful. So chairwoman's remarks, we do have quite a few today, but I think we've got a lot going in the pipeline. So last week, the U.S. Department of Treasury announced the launch of the Coronavirus State Local Recovery Fund, established by the ARP, to provide $350 million in emergency funding for state, local, territorial, and tribal governments. We know that Dupage County can expect to receive relief funds in 2 tranches, a total of $179 million, with the first 50% expected next week. We know that the broad categories of eligible uses for these funds, and we'll be working together as we continue to review the interim final rule and develop a clearer understanding of allowable uses. So in addition to the $179 billion that the county expects to receive through this recovery fund, many other sources of funding were also contained under the ARP, including an additional $7.25 billion for the PPP program, $30.5 billion in transit formula grants, $50 billion for FEMA's disaster relief fund, and $21.6 billion in another round of emergency rental assistance. In addition, we'll have the child tax credits for 2021 for about $3,000 per child up to age 18 and $3,600 per child under age 6 for many families, not quite all. The comprehensive presentation of ARP will actually take place at the first finance meeting in June. So we'll be looking forward to that. I know staff's been working really hard. From our collective experience with relief funds provided through the CARES Act, we know that our county will utilize these dollars to great impact. More specifically, the Economic Development Committee, we know that we've been working with our partners, Choose Dupage. And in the past, we've used about $20.5 million of the CARES Act dollars were used to assist 1,616 Dupage County businesses. And that was through the Reinvest Dupage grant program. In addition, we've also been able to help the economic opportunities in Dupage counties and focusing on a lot of those things like the 10,881 motel rooms that we use for our communities. Let's see. These programs obviously were really strong. I think the American Rescue Plan dollars will continue to be receiving, and those will go over very well. Let's see here. I think that's about it for today. So let's move on to, do we have any public comment?
We do not.
Okay, so we can move on to procurement requisitions. I'll make a motion to combine and approve the consent agenda items A through E as presented.
So moved.
Second DC.
Okay, great. Can I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Member Rutledge?
Aye.
Member Chavez?
Aye.
Member Salmon, Member Renahan,
Aye.
Member Eckhoff,
Aye.
and Member DeCiani.
Aye.
All right, and then the next thing we have is a motion to approve EDP 117-21, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to CIII CSMS 07GG10 Corporate Lakes 1 for rental space for the period of December 1st, 2021 through November 30th, 2032. This is for workforce development for a total contract not to exceed $4,549,290.
Motion DeCiani.
Second.
Great. Is there any, I know Lisa's on the call today. Do we have any discussion on this?
Yeah, I was just wondering, I saw this as an 11-year lease, and I saw that we have a reduction about half of a year for 2 separate years, first year and second year of this. I'm just wondering, is this the best deal we could do, given we know that there's so much office space going in Dupage County that's not occupied?
Tim, do you want to handle this or do you want me to handle it?
Sure, I'm happy to. We use CBRE. They're a real estate firm to help us with the negotiations on this. When you look at our price per square foot, we're actually matching what we're paying now. And that's an average over 10 years. So in 5 years from now, we're going to be paying what we're paying now. We spent a lot of time on this when researching the market with them. We looked at other options and other opportunities. But yes, we do feel this is the best offer we can get. We use the experts like this because there are so many pieces. You'll also see that we also have a tenant improvement allowance of, I think it's $740,000. So there's other pieces in there besides the free rents and the rent discounts. And the lease actually goes retro back to the start of this year for some of the discounts that we'll be receiving.
That's what I want to hear.
It's a very, very good deal. We were very pleased with the final outcome of it. And I will tell you that it's been about a year process that we've worked with all the parties. We've toured other facilities. We found nothing that compares to the deal that we're getting with this one. And we're extremely, extremely comfortable with the deal we're getting, and the long-term lease, I think, will benefit WorkNet in the out years tremendously.
Great.
How many square feet are we talking over there, just out of curiosity? I know the rent, when I figured it out, was like $3,500 a month, which seems to be pretty cheap considering that.
The lease is for $16,500.
That's space, 16,500 square feet.
Correct.
That's a pretty good deal. Very good. Thank you.
The square footage went from we were dropped overall by I think $1.75 per square foot over the life of the deal. So again, I'm thrilled about the cost savings, and I can say that with our federal grant dollars, we're required by the state to spend at least 50% on direct training activities. This year we're trending towards like 60%, which is might be the highest in the state of the dollars that we're actually spending on businesses and job seekers. And this reduction in our overhead cost is going to help us elevate even beyond that. So we're pretty proud of that, and this deal is going to help us.
Very good.
Greg, did you have something, or are you good?
Pardon me?
Did you have a question? We just weren't sure. Just
No, I do not.
Okay, all right. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, good. All right, any further discussion? All right, can I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Member DeCiani,
Aye.
Member Chavez,
Aye.
Member Selman, Member Renahan,
Aye.
Member Eckhoff,
Aye.
and Member Rutledge.
Aye.
Great, okay, so we've talked a little bit internal with staff on kind of reconfiguring how we're doing our meetings. So going forward, we're going to have a presentation from one of our partners at each meeting and rotate those monthly. Of course, any of our other partners that have business that they need to bring to the table, of course, you're always welcome to, but I think that's going to allow us to tighten things up a little bit. So today we would like to welcome WorkNet and Lisa Shabak.
Hi, I get to start. I'm the first solo presenter here. So I'm going to share my screen. I do have a few slides I want to run through. What I did recently is let me pull this up. As you know, I typically will give a rundown just for background information on where we're at with the unemployment rate, and try to give a little bit of nuance to that. So the most recent numbers for March 2021 are 5.4% for DuPage County, which is the lowest in the metro region by quite a bit. Obviously lower than the state of Illinois unemployment rate and then the US rate as well. So that on the surface looks really good. As I've mentioned in I think the last meeting, the overall Illinois labor force participation rate does remain below the point that it was at prior to COVID, which is to be expected. As a refresher, this is an indication of people who are not actively searching for employment. So those folks that are not looking, maybe they were laid off and then due to whatever kinds of constraints, just have not started searching again. What I did, just for, again, some additional background information, is I took all of the data from IDS that they provide for the state. I took the DuPage County specific UI information for continuing claimants month over month for the entire calendar year of 2020. And I put together a bunch of charts here that I'll show you. I think that some of this information, we could take from it some analysis, some degree of analysis, but it's interesting to see how this aligns with some of the trends in the local and national media and in some areas where maybe it diverges from what we are hearing. So total UI claimants for DuPage County, again, continuing claimants, so meaning not initial claims, for the calendar year by a gender split. You could see that there were more females that were continuing claimants last calendar year versus males. Again, that is something that we've heard an awful lot about in the national media. By age, you could see that the highest percentage of people that were continuing claimants were our older workers, age 45 to 64 was the largest percentage. The smallest was age 65 and older. That would be because least representation in the workforce. And then the second group was age 25 to 44. We do see at WorkNet DuPage, we do serve a large number of older workers, meaning 55 plus. And that holds true with what we saw with the overall DuPage County UI claims. Total claimants by race and ethnicity, you could see, and again, this, taking into account obviously the overall demographic breakdown of DuPage County, but the highest percentage here was white and not of Hispanic origin, by far the highest volume of people that were continuing claimants. And then you have individuals that identify as Black as the second high, it's actually Hispanic origin was the second highest at 42, a little bit over 42,000. And then individuals that identify as Black, and then you have Asian or Pacific Islander as the fourth largest group. Education level, really no surprise here. By far the highest percentage was individuals that have a high school diploma or less that were affected by unemployment over the calendar year, followed by people that have some college or technical school, and then 4 years of college or an undergraduate degree. People with advanced degrees, more than 4 years of college, whereas you could see the lowest percentage here. Here's the total claims by industry. Professional and business services was the highest total volume of claims, followed by leisure and hospitality, which I thought was kind of surprising as I aggregated all of this data. I guess I would have probably picked leisure and hospitality as the most. But again, when you think about total volume of businesses, there are more that fall into this category. So that, does make sense in that way. And then educational and health services were the third highest. We know that there were a lot of individuals in the education system that were furloughed, as well as people that support that industry, cafeteria companies and things like that. And then you see here by occupation, and the highest was management. Again, I was kind of surprised, I guess, to see that. And then sales and related being second, and food prep and serving being the third highest total volume. So that's just some background information. As always, I can provide these slides, to everybody after this meeting. I would need to speak to somebody at IDS in some detail to get their take on a more deeper sort of analysis of trends. But I thought just on the surface, even just compiling this information, we can see some kind of interesting notes here. And then the last thing that I want to bring to your attention that's really significant, we did get our Title I allocation numbers for the upcoming program year, which, as you all know, begins July 1st. Our program year runs July 1 through June 30. So we're coming up on that now. The entire state got an approximately 9% cut from Department of Labor. We in Dupage County are one of either 2 or 3 areas throughout the state that got an increase to our allocation, which I was thrilled to see. I was preparing for a cut, knowing that the state was getting a cut, and we actually got an overall increase. The total here for program, might be kind of small on your screen. I know it's small on mine, but for this program year, upcoming program year, our allocation total will be 5.636 million, where last year it was 4.9 million. So we're seeing a big increase. And again, that was really good news for our operations. Where the increase is coming in is in our adult grant. So that's this gray bar here. This is this program year 21, our upcoming year, as well as our youth. We're getting an increase in our youth funding. Our dislocated worker funding over the past 3 program years has actually dropped down. That's due to the formula that is used. It is not yet taking into account COVID-19 numbers. That'll be next program year. But because unemployment was so low in the preceding years, that's the grant that is kind of ironically, as it were, kind of tapered down here. So good news there all around that we're seeing an increase of almost $700,000 there for our total budget for this coming year. Does anybody have any questions on any of that I just shared?
Good job, Lisa.
Yeah, I don't see anything. Thank you.
Yeah, it's going to be a good thing with the reduced cost. Last month, you guys approved our one-stop operator cost. I let you know it was a significant cost savings. Now with a reduction in our overhead costs with the rent, and then an increase in our budget, I'm really confident we're going to be able to, serve a huge amount of people, and it's going to be needed this coming program year.
For sure. Wonderful. Thank you so much for the update.
Thank you.
All right, so then I think the best way to handle any updates, little mini updates from our partner, is that to do it in old business, do you think? Or, yeah, okay. All right, so Greg, do you have any mini update that you want to give today? Anything that needs to be on our radar?
Nothing significant to report that needs to be on your radar. I just would like to amplify what Nick and Lisa said about the deal that WorkNet got for space. Working with businesses for as many years as I have in Dupage County, I can assure you that they got a smoking deal. And we are hoping to piggyback off of that deal to keep Choose Dupage and WorkNet kind of co-located in the same space, because Lisa is expanding her operation to serve more people. So we're going to try and stay close to her and take advantage, for lack of a better word, of the deal that they got through the county's relationship with CBRE and Choose Dupage's relationship with CBRE.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And then Beth's unable to attend today because she had a conflict. So a few of the notes that we had from her is that many of our hotels and venues currently lack the required resources. I know Lisa just talked a little bit about that. They do rely on the DCVB to represent them at virtual and in-person trade shows to bring meetings and conferences back to Dupage County. So these initiatives, along with the meeting and hosting support, may require additional ARP resources. So as we start to get those details, we want to have that on our radar. And but we know that when we do things through our wonderful partners, everything is so incredibly trackable, and we can really see the results from those programs. So I think we're looking forward to a lot of future success here in Dupage. So that was her update. Is there any additional old business?
Chairwoman Chavez, I am here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm joining from beautiful Rockford, Illinois. So
well, I know you're working hard for us. Do you have anything else?
No, thank you so much. I just wanted to also piggyback on Lisa's presentation. Her team has been so phenomenal. As you know, it's been a challenge to get hospitality workers back to business. And so I know many times you have to set a threshold on hourly wages. So Lisa's team has created some extra resources for us. And so on our website, we're linking to WorkNet, Dupage, excuse me. And that's been a great source for our hotel banquet venue partners, because particularly for social events. Weddings and family reunions are starting to really ramp up, and they need those banquet servers. So just wanted to say thank you to Lisa and her team and the entire Economic Development Committee. So thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Beth. And then I think just briefly, Amy just brought it to my attention that we have 2 quick videos for success stories that we wanted to share today. So let's go ahead and do that now as well.
I'm Carolyn Wilson, and I recently got a new job at the Advocate Charitable Foundation here in Illinois, and I will be the grants coordinator for the grants and program development team. I believe it was just a direct result of my interaction with WorkNet Dupage. I came to WorkNet Dupage because I was unemployed due to COVID since March 13, 2020. I started off with the workshop from layoff to launch. I was contacted by a job counselor. Working with Siobhan was so helpful. Her advice, her encouragement was just absolutely awesome. For the folks who are in my age group, you've got a lot of experience and you've got work history. Use that to your advantage, but you certainly don't have to present yourself as a senior citizen. You are a senior worker, and that's how you have to sell yourself. So the ageism, if it's on their end, that's not something that you can control, but that's not something that you bring to the table. As you're interviewing, you absolutely need to learn about the company and, try to learn about the people in advance that you're going to be interviewing with. But don't forget yourself in that process. And I've done that on a number of occasions. You have to be just as well versed yourself as you are that company, and even more so. Taking one of the WorkNet boot camps reminded me of that. It is a tough time, but there are jobs out there and your job is there.
Hey guys, today I'm here to let you guys know a little bit about the WorkNet Dupage youth program and how it just helped me out tremendously. So going back about 7 months ago, I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do after I graduated high school. I kind of was just at a dead end. So I went online and I ran across the WorkNet Dupage youth program. Just the process, just the experience, it was just really amazing. They got me right in, they fit right into my schedule, and they just got me going right away. So about a month and a half ago, I actually graduated from the program. I actually got my CDL. It's funny because as I speak right now, I'm actually at the job. So I just want to let you guys know that if you're at a dead end, if you don't know what you want to do, I highly recommend this program. I think it can really open up doors for you, open up opportunities for you, and just really change your life, because it did change mine. And it just opened up so many opportunities and just so many options that I didn't even know I had myself. So like I said, if you don't know what you want to do after high school, if you're having a hard time, I highly recommend that you look into this program. Hope everybody is staying safe and hope everybody's doing well, and I hope to see you soon.
So that shows you kind of what we, like, we're trying to play off of people's desire to be YouTubers, particularly our youth, and it's been really effective so far. This is all kind of just like earned me, like we don't pay, we are going to be paying for an ad coming up that's a compilation of different videos like this. So maybe I'll send that to you all once we have that up. But we're trying to show, again, our tagline from entry level to executive and, you know, youth to older workers. We work at Dupage is there to support everybody. So, you know, I think we're pretty proud of these videos that we've been churning out on social media, and I think it's nice to put a face to the services.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing those, and huge thank you to WorkNet Dupage, who diligently worked to help all these job seekers probably during one of the hardest times in our recent history. So thank you so much for all that you've done and all the staff hours that have gone into that. So thank you so much. Is there anything else in old business? Any new business? All right, so we can do a vote voice. I think I just make a motion to adjourn. Can I get an agreement with that?
So moved, yes.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.